Phoenix Raceway, enjoying the greenness of the Arizona desert in spring as we get ready for NASCAR Cup qualifying. Practice was held yesterday, a single session of 50 minutes for all cars. So we won't have the A and B group practicing today. What we will have is the A and B group qualifying and the fastest 5 cars from each moving on to the final round to set the pole. So what we learned in new aero package practice yesterday, Danica?
Well, we learned that they were really tight in the center and they were loose off, which has been similar to the past. So, and I think that, to be honest, the engineers and the crew chiefs, they do such a good job with sim now that they're able to use that data, take 30% downforce off, and still rebalance. So the drivers are feeling very similar. But the question is what's going to happen over the long run? What's going to happen after 30, 40, 80 laps maybe? That might get a little more interesting.
Well, the good news is we only have to focus on one lap today. It's very interesting. She's so right. The balance of the cars, at the end of the day, they have less grip. These things are slipping, sliding around. That was the intention, trying to get some grip out of these cars on the short tracks, the short track package, if you will. I saw that yesterday. Lap times are falling off. But for today, busting that big lap off, downshifting, upshifting, brakes. Do not lock those wheels up. Don't get that thing too loose into the corner. One slip up in any part of these corners and your day is history.
A little more cloud cover today and a little cooler temperatures than the practice that we showed you yesterday afternoon. The first qualifier will get ready to roll when we come back. Welcome back to Phoenix. That is what they are racing for. Not just the pole here and the opportunity to start up front, but the opportunity to pick pit stall number 1 or clinch some of these other pit stalls in front of openings that are preferred.
Oh, absolutely. The openings are awesome. I don't want to be down through here on that straightaway. It's very hard. Those openings, you want to be here, easy out. The ones on the curve are easier to get in, get around the car, and easier to get out. Those are good. Interesting pit road. With that curve, it really throws these teams for a loop. But for today, all this conversation's on that number 1 box. That baby is the golden ticket.
There's one of the good boxes with an empty gap in front of it. Ty Dillon will be the first car in Group A to qualify. Let's check with Regan.
Well, Mike, another car in Group A getting ready to qualify. Bubba Wallace, 16th fastest in practice yesterday. Saw you guys debriefing, talking about what was going on in practice for a long time. What'd you learn? What'd you need different?
Honestly, we don't know. Looking at SMT and while we were on track, the crew thought we were in the ball game, right? But just the feeling of it, we're just off. And you know, looking at the speed charts, 16th was the highest Toyota. So I told our guys this is the most important race of the season, because if you lock yourselves in and get yourselves to the playoffs and championship, you got to come back here and try to win championship. So right now, we were just sitting here talking again about the change that we made and kind of the open notebook process that we have going into this weekend, trying a bunch of different things, because I've kind of had the same feeling the last handful of races with this car, and it's just been okay. I know we're all not here just to be okay. We want to win races, so they threw everything at it, so we'll see.
All right, good luck in qualifying, Bubba. Thanks. Jamie?
Tyler Reddick getting ready to get in his car now. When he came up, he said, we just need to send it. How much risk are you willing to take to get that good pit stall here in good qualifying position?
Yeah, just got to go for it on this lap. Qualifying is going to be important. Pit stall selection is going to be huge. It hurt us last week. So we just have to get everything we can here, and the Beast Unleashed Toyota Camry TRD. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully the track's clean enough for us.
Thanks, Jamie. Zane Smith just finished his qualifying run. He's in the 38 this week. He's going to drive several races this season in the 38. Now Todd Gilliland is here. He will run the number 15 as Cody Ware takes to the track. Larry Mack, Ty Dillon, first car to qualify. What kind of issue did it look like he had there?
Yeah, it either snapped loose or he actually bottomed out just before taking the green flag. And as we well know, if that happens right before the green flag, it kills the speed all the way down that front straightaway.
Well, if it bottomed out, that's probably why it snapped loose. Anytime you get down on these, the rub blocks on the bottom of the race car or that bump stop in the shock, man, it takes sends the chassis to eternity. Basically a solid, suspension system at that point, and really upsets the back of the car. Speaking of the back, and you hear Reddick talk about, sending the car. You see Noah Gregson here. He sent it off into turn 1, and that thing came out from underneath of him. And if you slip and slide up the racetrack, your lap's over. You don't have another lap to get things regrouped and go back after it. Very difficult for these drivers to judge just how much of send you send it.
So
well,
if you're going to send it in one of the two ends, turn 1 or turn 3?
Yes.
I think that there's more margin for error in turn 1. I think there's a bigger penalty in turn 3. It just seems to get more out of shape. You lose more time, and it's a longer straightaway that you have after it. So you always need to be thinking about, obviously this applies far more to road courses, but here you can see that there's more straightaway down the front.
Well, and I agree. 1 and 2, you just have so much more of a corner. Very wide, very sweeping. Down in 3 and 4, very tight. If you slip up out of the groove and miss that bottom, your lap's history. Not only did you not do a good job getting it across the center, it kills your exit of the corner.
All right, let's hear from last week's winner, Regan.
That's right, Mike. Still flying high on that win from a week ago. William, we checked in during practice with your team yesterday. It sounded like you were fighting a tight race car. Did you figure out on that second set of tires what you need to qualify for today?
Yeah, I think so. Honestly, our Valvoline Chevy, that final run was really good. Long run pace was great. So just missed it off the truck there. We were really tight, trying to adjust for the new aero package. So so far so good. Hopefully that second run carries over here into qualifying. We have a good run.
Good luck. Thanks, William.
Thanks, Regan. Working our way through Group A, Michael McDowell. Want to send our condolences to the family of Tom Love, the fellow who founded this truck stop and roadside chain of supermarkets and gas stations. Passed away earlier this week.
Man, I hate to hear that. I love travel centers. It's always when I'm traveling with my family across the country in the bus, there's no way I go past the Love's travel stop. Their involvement with this sport, his passion for NASCAR is seen everywhere, and you see it when you go into those Love's travel centers. I'll never forget coming home from the Daytona 500 when Michael McDowell won that race. Walk in the door, and there's congratulations champ all over the place on their video boards. Very cool to see their activation.
Yes, it was. Eric Jones goes to the top of the board. So Cody Ware, Ty Dillon bumped out of the 5 that will transfer to the final round from Group A. And let's see if Tyler Reddick gets to send it.
Man, it's a dangerous thing with that beast on the side of it, huh?
That's a good advertising. Tyler had such a strong year. He's just been really a force and so fast and willing to put that car all over the track. But obviously here with these Toyotas and this change for this year, it's a struggle. They're definitely not very good on short run speed. But I think we saw last weekend, as we see, he's got a pretty decent run going here. That Toyotas kind of pick up the pace during the race and in the longer runs. So he might not end up at too well, as we just saw. He did 27.6. That's third place.
Well, he sent it into the corner and caught Eric Jones there mid-corner, and then Jones pulled away. Larry Mack?
Yeah, Mike, Eric Jones did something that none of the other drivers has done. They all are shifting into 5th going up the front straightaway, but when he downshifted into 4th in 1 and 2, he stayed in 4th all the way down the back straightaway. He's the first driver that's done that.
Wow. Okay.
I'm glad you said that too, and we didn't pay him off very well. That 27.55 is a whale of a lap for Eric Jones in that 43 car. Maybe there is something there. That shifting, you could see how much it pulled up off the corner to Corey LaJoie.
Well, I can say that any time that there's shifting going on, you're dropping RPM and you're dropping speed. And, this was something that was finished a lot with in Indy cars. We were able to change the gears a lot and use those. And in qualifying, shifting was definitely slower.
All right, getting ready for the second 10 of Group A, including last week's winner, William Byron. Group A qualifying for the NASCAR Cup Series at Phoenix. Top 5 drivers on the board above the yellow line. They are in position to transfer to the final round as Ricky Stenhouse makes his lap.
One of the things that drivers can play with when they're shifting too is where they shift. It's not set in stone. If you need some turning, you can wait till the middle of the corner. If you feel really solid on entry, you can do it early and pick up the throttle in the middle to get more rotation there. There's lots that you can do to affect the balance of the car with shifting.
Well, the other thing you could do, you hit that downshift too quick, you can over rev the engine, you can spike the rear tires and make the thing loose out from underneath of you. There's a lot of things. You're very right about shifting. You have to do that at the right optimal time.
Stenhouse bumps in. Justin Haley on track. Jamie?
Well, Chase Briscoe was the man standing in victory lane at this track a year ago. What's it like coming back to the track knowing you are the defending winner of this race?
Yeah, it's always nice. I feel like it always gives you, I guess, a little bit more added confidence every time you come back somewhere you've been successful in the past. So, yeah, looking forward to it. I felt like we had a pretty good Mahindra Tractors Ford yesterday. But, yeah, hopefully we can do the same thing, tomorrow as we did here last year. So, yeah, got a good shot at it. We definitely need a little bit more, but thought our car was pretty good. So, see if we can pull it up again.
Good luck. Thanks, Chase.
Justin Haley knocks Harrison Burton out of the Fast Five.
We got some heavy hitters coming at the end of this. Brad Keselowski taking the track now, but I'm telling you, the lap that Eric Jones posted at 27:55, I think that goes on. We'll find out here very soon. There's a big downshift you hear.
Keselowski, 13 top 10 finishes here at Phoenix, and I believe he's in the top half dozen in yesterday's practice.
Look how much better Eric got off of turn 2 over there and down that back straightaway. And the thing is, he did a good job being patient, not over driving turn 1. He got off the corner so good. You take all that speed, that momentum down into turn 3, and it's very easy to overdrive that. He was disciplined in his lap for sure.
Keselowski is second. Austin Cindric on track. Regan?
Well, Mike, Josh Berry preparing for the second week of fill-in for the injured Chase Elliott this week. A little bit more of a heads up, though. How nice was that? Not only to have the heads up, but to have some practice before today.
Yeah, definitely. I think it helps. Feel like we had a good week of preparation. Just kind of getting more comfortable with each other. These guys are doing a really good job trying to get me acclimated the best they can. So it's been a busy week, but I thought we had a pretty solid practice yesterday. I think I started to feel more comfortable. So. Had a good practice this morning in the Xfinity car. Hopefully we can translate that to a pretty solid qualifying effort.
Like a lot to learn going back and forth. Xfinity to Cup cars. He's been doing a nice job so far.
Well, sure has.
It's got to be nice to get some laps out there, to get 40 plus laps in a session and just be able to get into a rhythm.
And then a day to think about it before you have to come qualify.
I think this old cat here in the Ford, Kevin Harvick, I think he's ready for the challenge. He was fast yesterday, liked his race car. I think this hot rod's going to post a lap. Seemed a little bit loose into 1. Lost a little bit of speed, got back to the gas pretty hard here, still almost a 10th off.
He was holding a bit of wheel in there in 1 and 2, and then a little bit of a snap, so I bet he was a little tight.
Quick back to the throttle, gained a little of it back.
And he's in for now. He is 5th fastest.
All right, about P5 so far.
Bumps Austin Cindric. Now, Denny Hamlin will go next. Larry, only one Toyota driver has qualified so far. What was different about his lap?
Yeah, that was Tyler Reddick in the 45 car. He grabbed 5th gear down the back straightaway, but headed into 3 and 4. He went to 4th and went all the way down to 3rd, and that definitely hurt his time from the center of 3 and 4 back to the start-finish line.
I'm going to say it just overslowed the car. I haven't heard one person go down to 3rd gear, and obviously you use those shifts as an aid, help slow the car down, get it rotated, and throttle back up off the corner. Man, Denny sure rolled through the middle there. Look at the momentum, but he gave up a little bit on exit to Kevin.
He's in 3rd fastest, bumps Kevin Harvick.
His revs sounded a little low. I wonder what gear he was in. He was really low in 1 and 2.
He pretty much did the same thing everybody else has been doing. He grabbed 5th gear on both straightaways and downshifted to 4th only going in the corner.
Yeah, I mean, that's blows my mind to hear Reddick do that, and I think, his lap was definitely hurting because of that. I think it just overslowed the car in the center.
Well, Reddick is 5th for now as Bubba Wallace takes to the track.
Oh,
whoa!
He got it a little bit.
Loose off, as they have all been.
I'd say run out of real estate. Man, he's loose getting into the corner.
That's very unstable the whole way around, huh? Whew. That's a handful.
7th, 27.75. Reddick safe for the moment. 2 drivers to go. in Group A.
You can see he's already sawing on it all the way up off the corner.
That thing's just out of the track the whole way around.
Pretty loose. Look at it sliding. That one last catch there almost kept it out of the wall.
This is where you earn it as a driver. You know, when the car is stable and comfortable, it's it's usually what we could call that somewhat easy, but it's those moments that you're earning your job as a driver to hang on to it and keep it in one piece.
So here's Martin Truex, who had top 10s in 3 of the last 5 Phoenix races, including a win.
Terrible. 5 right front, P6.
Well, terrible in that he missed the top 5 by 1/1000th of a second. William Byron will be the last driver in Group A. That means Jones, Keselowski, Hamlin, and McDowell are safe. It's Byron versus Reddick for the final transfer spot.
You know, he said terrible, but, you know, we were hearing even last weekend drivers that were running really well that said that their car was terrible. And so there's just sort of like levels of terrible, meaning if you're, you know, you can have a bad car and be fast, but it's worse when you have a bad car and you're slow. William Byron here definitely having a good run. He's outrunning Reddick down the back straightaway and rolls the center really well and gets off.
Arced the corner good getting in. When he got that big arc, he rolled that middle, had that bottom hooked, and look how much better it came up off the corner because of that. Didn't get loose in.
So Byron leads Group A with a 27.553. Eric Jones 3/1000ths behind. Group B coming up. Here are the 5 drivers from Group A that will advance to the final round. 2 Chevys, 2 Fords, and Denny Hamlin's Toyota. Group B qualifying. B.J. McLeod out on track to begin Group B. Jamie.
Ryan Blaney pretty good around this place, was second yesterday in practice. So did the car feel as good as it looked in the speed charts?
Yeah, it felt okay. I thought we had pretty good speed. It's just going to be a matter of how well does it hang on, and I thought we still had a little bit of work to do on that, but it was good to get some time with the new rules package, smaller spoiler, and like I said, I thought we had good speed. It's just a matter of, all right, how's it going to handle tomorrow in the heat of the day? You know, it was a little bit different last night, so we'll find out. Hopefully we can lay a good lap down. Really cool to have Dent Wizard back on this Ford Mustang and see if we can get a pole.
That's Ryan Blaney. Reagan?
Well, Jamie, Eric Jones very fast in that first session. Career best 7th qualifying here. Looks like you're going to challenge that today. Does it have enough to get a little more out of it?
I hope. We'll find out. It's kind of tough. We went so early there. I was nervous yesterday. I was a little probably not the most confident going out early like that, but I got a good lap, and I'm happy with it. So we'll see. We need a little bit more probably here in the second round. I'm sure these guys will probably pick up a little bit as we go, but Legion Chevy's got some good speed, which has been nice. I haven't made the final round this year, so feels good to be there, and hopefully get us a good spot to start and just kind of get our season going. The first 3 weeks have been not how we wanted, so start up front, hopefully have a good race tomorrow, but been happy with it so far.
Thanks, Eric.
Todd Gilliland ahead of B.J. McLeod. Gilliland in the 15 this week, the Rick Ware Racing second car, as Truck Series champ Zane Smith was tapped to drive the 38 for several races this season. Here's Chase Briscoe, won here last year.
Whoa,
Splitting and flying around down there, wasn't he?
Yeah, he got in hot though. He looked like he rolled a lot of speed.
Won the spring race here, his first race. Huge win for him. Got a lot of confidence coming back here.
Hanging on to it again in 3 and 4 as well. He downshifts pretty early.
He was one of the first drivers when we went to these cars to start using that downshift, and it started clear back in the Clash. I'll never forget that. I don't know, I think it comes from his road racing experience. He was comfortable with it from day one and has utilized that to his advantage.
That's very much that's where you would normally do it on a road course style situation, is kind of that entry point when you're starting to, you just past peak braking.
Brian Priest will be the 4th of 18 drivers in Group B.
Ryan showed a lot of speed in this 41. Doesn't have anything to show for it by the end with his results, but nonetheless they've had the speed, and that's what you got to focus on. The rest will come. Clean up the mistakes, and all of a sudden you start being in the right place at the right time. That baby's slipping, sliding around. It's exactly what we wanted with this package. I wanted to come here. They made an adjustment, trying to move the needle, trying to make this these cars have less grip on these short tracks. And you see Austin Dillon slipping and sliding coming to the green. Spot on.
Dillon has a couple of top 10s here at Phoenix, but they all came several years ago. Lately, hasn't had a lot of luck here.
I think that changes this year. You know, bringing on Kyle Busch, you don't just bring on an experienced veteran championship driver like Kyle just to go out and win races and make that 8-car fast. We saw it at the Clash, and we've seen it at Fontana. When business picks up when you bring in a driver like that, and it has as a whole all across the board at RCR, Austin Dillon included.
So the SHR cars first and second, Briscoe and Preece. Josh Berry. And we want to wish Chase Elliott well as he continues his recuperation from a snowboarding accident. Berry will drive all the oval races in this number 9, while Jordan Taylor, the IMSA road race star, will run it at COTA and whatever road races are necessary till Chase, who is NASCAR's arguably best current road racer, can get back in the seat.
What a good feeling to know that you have all the ovals to work on things. You know, you don't have to go and, you know, risk everything every weekend. You have some comfort. That was a good lap.
71
Top
for Berry.
board.
Yep. Joey Logano, the series champ, top 10 finishes in 7 of the last 8 races here, and a 3-time Phoenix winner, including, of course, last fall to win the championship.
You know, I'm watching just how far drivers are able to get over the line, or if they need the line. So he was able to pull it down below the line, which is always going to kind of unhook the car just a little bit. And you can see that it got the car turned. He got a good run down the back. He's outrunning Austin Dillon's lap by quite a bit. Smooth run off of turn 4. Top 27-0.
Ends up with
Look
a
how
70.
tight that is.
He was tracking for the 50s, ended up with a 70 there.
27-7-0. That is.
Quite a bit off of 55 at Eric Jones. Interesting. The sun's starting to pop out a little bit as the track heating up, slowing down here.
Ty Gibbs won the Xfinity Championship by winning the race here last fall.
That was a very late downshift.
Very.
So Gibbs apparently not downshifting to slow the car, but downshifting there to get a better jump off the corner.
Well, it all boils down to where you're comfortable at, right? You have to be able to utilize that downshift. Yes, it helps you get up off the corner. You're not bogging, pulling that boat, dragging the boat out of the water. But it'll, I don't think that holds up. I really don't.
He's fastest for now.
It's going to be close.
A.J. Allmendinger. 12th in 2 of his last 3 Phoenix starts, including last fall here.
In and out of the throttle just a little bit. Costing him off the corner, too.
Right even with Ryan Preece for the last transfer spot here.
Decent run.
Allmendinger by a nose.
Couldn't get it at the bottom. Missed the bottom just at least a little bit. Car looks a little tight to me.
And by 2 100ths, he's in for now. So rookie Ty Gibbs, fastest in Group B so far. All right, let's compare William Byron's fast lap from Group A to the fastest lap in Group B. Ty Gibbs would not have made the Fast 5 in Group A. Larry, what do those 3 drivers that are fastest have in common?
Yeah, all of them, when they went to 4th gear down in 1 and 2, they stayed in 4th gear down the back straightaway and through 3 and 4 to complete their lap. Pretty much everyone else is going to 5th down the back straightaway and then downshifting again to 4th and 3 and 4.
Probably just protecting a little bit to save from having to shift and then, you know, back down and downshift again. I would say it's really close to the rev limiter. You might just take your foot off ever so slightly. Those engine builders don't like you just leaving your foot in and ringing that thing out on the rev limiter.
Qualifying. Ring.
Whoa! Eric has got his hands full. You heard. All right, going right back to Gibbs' lap. When we saw Ty Gibbs, he was really late on his downshift. Why would you do that? That thing's out from underneath of you. You got your hands full. You don't have time to reach over and downshift.
Oh, look at that. He had a handful coming to the green. That's a handful in 3 and 4 coming to the checker. That was not fun.
He's not going to be happy.
Nope. Now we'll roll a 9th of 10. Watch his hands.
Look at the front wheels.
Or just the car.
Yeah. If that car's that way,
yeah, it's
I don't
so
need to
bad.
see his hands.
No.
I know. That's why he was busy and didn't have time to downshift.
If you can see the car move, it's violent in there.
Oh, baby's a little loose, boys.
Because there's exciting things that happen that you can't even see.
Chris Buescher 10th at Phoenix in this race last year.
A lot of green. Lost all of it on 2 right there on the exit. I think he got to the gas too soon, drove a push into it. Had to lift at the wall. Hooked that baby good in 3 and 4. Gained quite a bit back, but not, yeah, it's so far so good.
He's in with a 27.75, 4th. That knocks out Chase Briscoe.
Yeah, I wonder how good his 3 and 4 look, because he looked like he got down early, and I think that's the trick. You got to get down early in 3 and 4 to make sure you hit that bottom.
Ryan Blaney, top 5 finishes in the last 3 races here.
I think this is a favorite for sure. A lot of speed in this car. Ryan's going to get it all. Pretty smooth so far. A lot of green there, Danica.
Pretty far off the bottom. Laid downshift pretty far off the bottom. Shifting, which we've seen is so far has not been fast to shift.
Ooh, got a little loose there. Still a lot of green. Slower back to the throttle, but so far so good.
That's fast. Top of the board for Blaney by 3 100ths.
He was wheeling that thing. He earned that lap.
You know, there's an expression in racing. It just for qualifying. It doesn't have to be pretty. It's just got to be fast.
Kyle Busch, 3-time Phoenix winner.
Pretty loose down there. Getting through 1 and 2. Hooked the bottom well. Back to the throttle. Hear how fast he got back to the throttle.
He's so good at getting to the bottom. He's so good at being disciplined.
Really good through 3 and 4.
Yep.
See the first driver we've seen go below the line there?
You know, rolled in well. Smooth lap going so far.
Whoa.
Loose on the throttle.
He didn't want to get back to the throttle. You could see that.
Go
Stayed in
Stars.
4th.
2 Buescher in the 5th place.
Hang on to her. Oh!
Got 3 back to gas. 3 stars off.
Oh, top of the board, 27.62 for Kyle Busch.
Oh, yeah, 27.62 on the top of the board.
That'll get him in. He can make some adjustments there. He'll make some adjustments behind the wheel. He's going to be a threat, I believe.
So 5 drivers to go. Here is one of just 2 drivers that have top 10 finishes in all 3 races this season. Daniel Suarez.
That's a good feeling.
Been on fire. This Trackhouse team, both cars are really fast. Daniels, he's picked the pace up. He's caught that one car. They put him, he struggled with some track position last week in Vegas. Got that baby up front with a great pit stop. He kept it there. Car showed the potential.
So with 5 to go, this will lock in Kyle Busch as Suarez is 3rd. And that bumps Josh Berry.
It just looks smooth. You see it through 3 and 4, and you know a lot of cars are hanging onto it and they're twitching all over the place, but it just looks really smooth.
I told you that 70 when Logano ran, or excuse me, it was a 67 with Ty Gibbs. That one's close. I think that's going to be right on the bubble there.
Ross Chastain, he's the point leader coming into Phoenix. Has finished no worse than 12th in the last 7 races we've run. And he was top 3 in both Phoenix races last year.
Just like his teammate Suarez, his cars look solid, very smooth, stuck to the ground. Don't see those guys sawing on that wheel. Boy, he rolled it off into the corner there. Look at that.
3rd for Chastain. That will lock in Ryan Blaney into the final round and knocks out Joey Logano.
Rolled into 3 very, very well. Didn't miss the bottom. All that was gained in 3 and 4. Pretty good lap.
Christopher Bell, 2 top 5s in 3 races this season. 3 drivers to go. here in round one. Bell, Larson, and Bowman.
It's going to be close. Didn't get off of 2 very well. Boy, he buried that thing off into 3. Hooked the bottom well. He's given up a little on exit, but I think it's going to be enough.
Did it. Second for
That'll work. Good job.
Christopher Bell, and he locks into the final round. That will bump Ty Gibbs.
Just look how tight that is. Just the least little bit. I mean, we're watching that ghost car. You can see a little bit here and there, but that's a 62 to a 66 on the bubble. Very, very tight. 67 out. Pretty wild.
Kyle Larson, last week's runner-up. Top 10 in 7 of his last 8 Phoenix races, including a win.
Aggressive on his downshift, stuck right down to the bottom of the racetrack. A lot of green here, Danica.
Kyle's just one of those drivers that gets up on the wheel. He does so much racing.
His car looked awesome yesterday. I mean, he was definitely laying some fast lap times down. He's going to be the car to beat this qualifying day.
Wow, a 32. Larson is locked in.
That's
saw this
embarrassing for everyone else. That is incredibly fast.
At the end of the day, you saw this coming. Again, he was lights out yesterday in practice ahead of the competition, and I think it just showed there.
Well, aside from Suarez, here's the only other driver with top 10s in all 3 races this year, Alex Bowman.
Whoa.
Oop, oop, oop,
very loose.
No.
Look at the ticker.
Oof.
Losing a lot of time there. Going to have to dig deep here. Think about this entry to the corner. Got to get it all down here. Can he do it? Cut that corner off. Wasn't going to be loose getting in there, Danica. Hooked the bottom, but it ain't going to be enough. He made that adjustment in the car. Was loose into 1, made the adjustment in 3.
And the Daytona pole sitter is 10th in Group B. Ross Chastain survives, and he moves on to the final round, along with Kyle Larson, Kyle Busch, Christopher Bell, and Ryan Blaney. Kyle Larson, fastest, Group B. Drivers who will advance to the final round of qualifying here in Phoenix. Now, Group B, very interesting. Larry told us that of the 5 drivers from Group B that transfer, only one, Ryan Blaney, grabbed 5th gear in the back straightaway. Everybody else stayed in 4th.
Look how much time he has left to gain then.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot there. I think everybody's going to make that adjustment. I think it's just a matter of taking care of that engine, you know, not wringing it out and being on that rev limiter too much. I bet everybody stays in 4th gear for this one lap at the end. But I'm telling you, Eric Jones, that 55 that he ran in the first round, very impressed with that lap. But Kyle Larson, a 30. Everybody's right there on top of one another in the 60 land, and he runs a 30. Shot fired big time. But can he back it up?
Hey, you know, I just disagree with you. I think that you want to hit the chip. I think you want to accelerate, because that's at the very end of the straightaway. It's just a tiny bit of time, but that acceleration off the corner, when you kill it from shifting, lasts for longer. So I think it's a bigger penalty. Proof's in the pudding. Most of the drivers stayed in 4th gear.
Oh, I'm saying they're going to stay in 4th gear. I'm just saying you protect that engine a little bit. Stay off the rev limiter. Okay, you let me know on lap 10 when that baby's blowed up and you're sitting on an airplane waiting on me.
All right, while you two settle this, we're going to Regan.
Well, Mike, I was standing with Brad Keselowski when Kyle Larson put that huge number up. Feeling pretty good about things with your car. Then you saw that number. You immediately went to the data, started looking at the data. So what did you learn for your lap coming up here?
I think Kyle's hooked up, but, you know, we've got a pretty good Castrol Ford here. We were here for the test a few months ago, Regan, and Matt McCall, the whole team, they did a good job of getting us dialed in where we're not far off. I don't know if we got that speed, but I think we'll have a shot at a solid top 3 or 4 starting spot. But that corner, I guess you can't see with my hands, but turn 1 and 2 over there, that's kind of the calamity corner. And you know, the drivers, when we came here, we asked that, you know, NASCAR make these cars more difficult to drive and take downforce off. And Regan, I think they accomplished that. So we got our hands full, and I think that's good. I think the car should be hard to drive.
I think from our perspective, we like hearing that too, Brad. Jamie?
Well, Denny Hamlin said this was a nice improvement from yesterday's practice session. Made it into the second round. So what do you need to do maybe a little differently to get a little bit more out of it here in your second lap?
Yeah, I mean, looking at it, it looks like I need to get to the green a little bit better for sure. But other than that, I'm not really sure. I mean, I think that hit the marks, just, driver actually makes a pretty big deal in this type of qualifying because you got to hit your marks. This track is really technical as far as that. So hopefully we can get this Shingrix Toyota somewhere in the top 5. That'd be a win for today.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Mike?
Thanks, Jamie. 9 of the 10 drivers who will run from the pole are all grouped within 1/10 of a second. Kyle Larson was 2/10 faster than any of them in round 1. Today on Fox, the top 2 seeds in the Big East tournament square off for the conference championship. Xavier takes on Marquette. Coverage begins 5:30 Eastern on Fox. 9 drivers are set to chase Kyle Larson for the pole here in Phoenix. And why does this matter so much? Well, 3 of the last 5 Phoenix races have been won from pit stall number 1, which is usually taken by the pole sitter.
Yeah, a lot of things that go into that, right? Obviously, he was the fastest car. He wouldn't be in that stall. But even if you slip up, that thing bails you out time and time again. You're going to gain time on that pit road because of that stall. It's going to be interesting. Larson's lap was huge. Can he back it up, A? And B, can anybody make some adjustments both with their car and in that car where they're driving to beat him out?
I don't know if he can back it up, but I think that even if he made a mistake, he's still faster than the other cars with that much of a margin.
Well, 9 of these 10 cars qualified in round 1 within 1/10 of a second, beginning with Michael McDowell, who had a 27.64 in round 1.
I'll tell you something. That's a good lap for this team and Michael McDowell. Him being in the top 10, worst he's going to do is a top 10 starting spot. I'm going to go for it here. Cannot lose anything. Very impressed with their lap. Beat out a lot of people, a lot of good teams, powerhouses behind him.
I think what we saw in those rounds, what we've seen in qualifying so far, is that drivers don't have to hit both ends. They just need to hit one really well and not completely botch the other. I think when you see a car like the Trackhouse cars be very smooth and steady, they get their solid laps. Maybe they'll have a little bit of room to push it here in qualifying. But, Larson just hit both ends with a lot of momentum without having to catch it too much.
Just no mistakes. The car's slipping, sliding around on the throttle up off. He had a handful of wheel in it, foot to the floor, got loose, but that's what you got to do. You got to get that speed built up coming to the green.
So Michael McDowell was minus 22/100ths from his first round lap.
Very interesting. Look at that run off of turn 2. I mean, McDowell's hanging on right there. Denny looked like he got really below the line. Maybe had to catch it just a little bit coming off, getting on the throttle, but he gets a great run through 3 and 4.
Hooked that bottom better. McDowell looked like he got tight in the middle, probably a little bit loose in, ends up being tight in the wheel, slow across the middle. Then he hooked it, beat him bad up off the corner.
And with a 70, Hamlin was only 7/1000ths off of what he ran, 7/100ths off of round 1.
I keep saying it, Keselowski, RFK, they have fixed the problems they had last year. It's 2 weeks in a row, basically all year long. They have been right there, knocking on the door and qualifying, making these, the final round of qualifying. Impressed. Big turnaround for their bunch.
Keselowski ran a 63 on his round 1 lap, and this will be a 74 second quick.
Well, there it is. Proof's in the pudding. Everybody's slowing down a little. This car was really fast. Another one that's, hey, in my opinion, this is they're overachieving right here. Very, very good lap. Set the pace in a 55 in that first round. A lot of speed in this 43 car. Legacy Motor Club. You see it. Hamlin was just able to get his car rotated across the middle, get to that throttle, beating him down both ends of the straightaway.
looked like he had a handful as soon as he started pulling it down to the bottom there in 3.
Same exact conversation as the other two with Hamlin.
Big fall off for Jones with a 93. That's almost 4/10 of a second off of round 1.
It looks to me like a lot of these cars are getting tighter with the cycle, call it for whatever reason. This is an advantage for some of these teams. A lot of these teams can see that data. They're all down there dissecting every little thing about watching these cars. They can make some adjustments, maybe free that thing up.
William Byron had a 27.55 in round 1.
Nice run through 1 and 2.
Look
Got
at
a
this.
clean blip downshift.
Hooked that bottom a little bit more, wrapped it around the corner on the bottom. A big arc just like he did in the first one, but he didn't get it down as good.
A 70 for Byron, falling off 15 hundredths from the first round. So Denny Hamlin's goal was a top 5. He will start no worse than 6th. Hamlin fastest so far. Today reminds me of years past at Phoenix when everybody would qualify in one group and drivers and crew chiefs would stand on pit road and go, if we could just catch a cloud, I know we can get a good lap here. And the sun has been in and out here as we go into these final 5 cars, and you see a bit of a shadow underneath Ross Chastain's car.
Yeah, that's the shade just cools the track off just that little bit. And when we're talking about first to second right now is 27.707 versus 0.709. I mean, that could absolutely be made up by a little bit of cloud cover.
It's like calling pro stock drag racing, Mike. It's a 70 with a 7 and a 70 with a 9. Tight.
Easier to explain than those betting odds.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
Telling you, it's just all about hitting your marks with this thing, but I do believe your balance in this car is very tricky, not knowing, you know, which way to go with this thing. Again, I said that these cars look to be tight. Do you try to, you know, put some more air in that right rear, try to free these things up a little bit more?
Yeah,
give that driver a chance.
Clint, you made such a good point that they look tighter out there. They're not twitching around as much.
I think he looked tight, missed that bottom, didn't roll the center near as good as Denny Hamlin. I think Denny's going to be happy with that lap. 70's going to be right there.
4th for Chastain with an 82. That's a fall off of 17 100ths from round 1. Here's Ryan Blaney, who ran a 64 in the first round.
Takes me back to Kyle Busch's lap. We saw him a little free up off. Maybe that was a good plan, strategy, be better on that second lap.
Now in the backstretch, if Blaney shifts, compare him to Denny Hamlin getting to turn 3.
He ain't gonna shift. Oh, he shifted. But do you see
not
how
worth it?
It was very quick.
Yes, not
do
worth
agree.
it.
Look at the speed. Upset. It's right at your entry too.
Yes.
If it's that close, I don't believe you need to be doing that.
And I think 1 and 2 is the trickiest one to hit. You know, it's like you've got to turn in just a little bit early to hit the bottom, but you don't want to, you know, you got to keep the car underneath you. It's a penalty if you slide more, I feel like, in that end than in 1 and 2. So, you know, he might look back at that and wonder if he should have done it differently.
See Christopher Bell, another Toyota. We talked to Bubba Wallace. You heard about him, or he heard him saying the Toyotas were a little bit off. Didn't see them at all. He was 16th best yesterday in practice. They fixed some speed in these cars. Hamlin,
no, Toyota's
Christopher Bell in this last round of 10 here, and I'm telling you, Hamlin's going to be, if he's not on the front row, he'll be in that second row for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Clint, what you're saying about the Toyotas, they've struggled with fire off speed, but man, it's not looking like that right now. So, you know, I think Denny thinks he can be pretty good on a long run. So if he can qualify, well, he is going to qualify right at the very front. It'll be interesting to see how that transpires in the race with long run.
This is the car that I felt was a little loose, slipping, sliding around that first lap. I think this can be a better lap for him.
So far, Denny Hamlin's the only driver whose fall off from round 1 has been less than a 1/10 of a second.
Oh, that looked good coming to the green.
Yeah, still a little loose on exit like we saw in that first lap.
But that's what we were seeing in the first round, and people seem to not be moving around as much, and tight is a big penalty here.
Back to gas, come to the green, but he stayed in it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's exactly what I saw. Edgy right there as well on the exit. Is not going to be there for him. Too loose. Can't put the throttle down and keep it down.
You heard that burp of the throttle, and that translated to 2 car lengths by the end of the straightaway.
Still a little edgy down here on this end.
Ooh, 27.91.
Loose is fast and on the
for
edge
Kyle
out of
Busch.
control.
That's right.
3/10 off of round 1.
Not quite there.
And it'll guarantee Hamlin a front row spot.
I think Denny's going to be surprised with the today. I really do. After yesterday, he was 19th, I believe, yesterday in practice.
Well, this is kind of a foregone conclusion because Kyle Larson can give up 3.5 tenths from round 1 and still win the pole.
Look at this. Didn't get off that corner quite as good, but he's starting to beat him on exit. Down the straightaway. No mistakes. Be disciplined down here in 3. Hooks the bottom. Denny rolled that bottom so good. Here he comes back a little bit. I think it's Hamlin's.
27.
No, how about it?
Or Larson.
Got him.
Denny Hamlin fell off only 7 100ths from round 1. Kyle Larson fell off 15 100ths, but it was still enough to win the pole.
Here's what I'm digging. We came here with a new package wanting to take grip out of these cars. Look how much they slowed down with just 1 lap. From their first lap to their second, that's what 3/10 for Kyle Larson. Everybody was quite a bit slower. I think the fall off's going to be there for tomorrow's race, and it's going to be interesting.
Well, let's hear from the outside pole sitter first. Jamie.
And Denny Hamlin, just like that, his buddy Kyle Larson nipped him for the pole. But we talk about how important starting up front is and getting that pit box. How is it for you and this team? This is where you started last year in this race.
Yeah, I didn't know that, but we're really optimistic about our long run speed. Kyle's just mad because I beat him in pickleball, so he chose to unleash his anger on us in qualifying there. But no, it'll be fun. We'll talk about it here a little bit, but yeah, I'm just proud of this whole Shingrix team, the Toyota Camry, putting us towards the front. I mean, this is all we can ask for. We typically always race better than we qualify, so I'm pretty optimistic.
All right, Denny Hamlin will roll off second tomorrow.
Cliff Daniels, Kyle Larson will get to celebrate Kyle's 15th career pole, coming in his 299th start.
I think it was our golf game on Wednesday. We played, Denny and Kyle played golf with me on Wednesday and put him in a good mood.
Chevrolet and Toyota will start on the front row tomorrow here in Phoenix. Larson and Hamlin. The first Ford is Brad Keselowski in 4th. Here's Jamie.
And Kyle Larson on the pole for the second time at Phoenix. And, you know, we talk about how important it is to be fast. You were fastest in practice, fastest lap in both rounds there. How fun is it to drive a car like this?
Oh, it's definitely a blast. So just huge thank you to everybody at Hendrick Motorsports and especially on this 5 car for getting a new aero package thrown at them and you're doing their homework and bringing a fast race car to the track. So yeah, super happy about yesterday. I thought my car handled good and it had a lot of speed, and then it translated to qualifying today. So it's a tough race though tomorrow. These next gen races are really, really hard to win. So it would be nice to get a little redemption on last week, but we're off to a good start, so that's all you can ask for.
Well, you mentioned the package change, the rule change here, and a lot of drivers shaking their head. They're not really sure what to expect. You told me different though. You don't feel much different.
Yeah, and I don't like, if I didn't know that we had a different air package, I wouldn't know. So I think that just says a lot about our team and their preparation. Maybe I felt like maybe on exit it was a little bit looser, but as far as dirty air went and all of that, I didn't feel any difference. So again, just thank you to everybody at Hendrick Motorsports, because it takes a lot of hard work to bring a car this good to the track. So we've got the first 2 steps kind of out of the way, and you've got to check off the box tomorrow now.
All right. He won this race from the pole 2 years ago. Regan?
Well, Jimmy, Christopher Bell will roll off 5th tomorrow for the race. A good qualifying effort for you guys. What more did you need to get, just that little bit more to get that pole?
I don't know. I mean, for as bad as we were on new tires yesterday in practice, that qualifying effort was a lot better than I was anticipating. So it seems like the Rheem Camry does a little bit better later on the tire life. So really excited about the race tomorrow and starting further up front than I was expecting. So I'm looking forward to it.
You guys this season compared to last year, all kinds of bad luck to start the season last year. Seemed like things are obviously going a little bit better. A couple top 5s already. How nice is that as we roll into this busier part of the schedule to have some of that momentum rolling?
Yeah, it's definitely nice to be able to build on confidence and having good runs. You know, ultimately, I don't think that we have the pace that we were expecting and hoping for coming into the 2023 season. Hopefully, this race tomorrow will give us a little bit more where we can contend for the lead. We haven't been able to do that yet this year. So very proud of this 20 group, though, man. It's a ton of fun driving for them, and I'm really optimistic about this lower downforce package. Yesterday, we were really sliding around. Hopefully the sun will come out tomorrow and it'll make it even slippier for us.
Mike, it seems like everybody down here happy about how these rules are working out with these cars slipping and sliding.
Yeah, happy, and I think those Toyota drivers a little surprised as both Bell and Hamlin, their expectations were more than met in qualifying after lackluster practice result yesterday. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for tomorrow's race. Chevy Toyota on the front row, Chevy Ford in row 2, Brad Kay. There's Bell with Ross Chastain. Nice effort for the hometown hero. That's Michael McDowell from Glendale.
I was going to say, I think the shout out goes to Keselowski, McDowell, and Eric Jones. I mean, they're in some pretty elite company there, and in my opinion, really did a good job of getting the most out of today, and I think that's going to go a long ways to having a good day tomorrow.
So that's who made the final round. Daniel Suarez just missed it. He and Tyler Reddick.
I think this is the one that is pretty interesting to me. Obviously had a great fall race and won the championship. Struggled a little bit, wasn't there in qualifying. Truex, they're going to have to pick it up. Reddick.
Kevin Harvick will finish in the top 10.
You think?
Well, he's done it, what?
History will tell you he will.
19,000 times here in a row. Yes.
But look at Chase Briscoe. Struggled a little bit. He was extremely fast. Won the spring race here. Was fast in the fall. Got a little bit of work to do.
And last page of the grid. Eric Almirola was sliding all over the track on his qualifying lap.
Yeah. And Noah Gragson, we've got to figure this out. Teammate is really fast. Noah's been struggling in the 42 car. Gonna have to dig deep amongst those teams.
Let's check back with the Regan.
Well, Ross Chastain down here signing for the fans. One of the great parts about Phoenix, the fans are right here at the garage. Qualified 6th after yesterday, 26 on the board. I have to imagine you'll take that.
Yeah, a lot of effort by Trackhouse and GM to get me going better in qualifying this year, and it's showing. Last year, we came here and fought for a championship when we were fastest in practice and qualified like 26. So I'll take the opposite of that for sure. To get going, we threw a lot of things at this car after practice. It just didn't have the grip I was looking for, and that was a good sign that it's very responsive to a lot of changes that Phil Surgeon and this Kubota team did. So proud of the effort, proud of the, we focused on qualifying and we see it pay off, and then hopefully it hangs on in the race.
Really good looking race car too, Ross. Fast race car, good looking one. Thanks, Ross.
Well, great qualifying effort for Michael McDowell. And Michael, no matter how this second round shakes out, this is the best start that you'll have ever at your home track. What was the difference today?
Yeah, that's great. You always want more in the second round there, but really proud of everybody on this left travel stop Ford Mustang. We weren't very good in practice yesterday, but Travis Peterson, all the guys made good adjustments overnight. Luckily, we were able to work on it. So real proud of the effort. Kind of jumped on the other side of that second lap, but proud of the effort. Good starting spot, good pit selection for tomorrow. Put on a good show for the hometown crowd.
Thank you.
Michael McDowell will roll off 7th tomorrow. So Kyle Larson on the pole. We'll come back and wrap things up, and we'll talk louvers right after this.
Jeff Gordon rounds turn 4. Become the first driver in the history of Phoenix International Raceway to win a Cup race from the pole. Jeff Gordon finally gets his first Phoenix win and ties Dale Earnhardt.
Jeff Gordon, I got a special flag for you. Come and get it.
Jeff Gordon salutes the Richard Childress owned number 3 as it was driven by Dale Earnhardt to 6 of his 7 Nextel Cup championships tonight. Gordon ties Earnhardt for career wins in Nextel Cup racing.
You know, holding that 3 flag, you know, it's certainly by no means saying I'm as good or we're as good or even close, but tell you what, to honor him in that way, it really means a lot to me. I learned so much from him, and to even come close to anything he had ever done in this sport is amazing to me. So we want to honor him. We've been holding on that flag for a long time, but to get 76 is incredible.
A huge night in the history of NASCAR here, and one of many, as Dale Earnhardt's fondly remembered still by many race fans who continue to fly that 3 flag. Here are the pole sitters so far this season, rained out at Fontana, so 3 different pole sitters, including Kyle Larson, who was just lights out ahead of everybody in the first round. He didn't have the least fall off in the second round. That was Denny Hamlin, but he had plenty.
Yeah, but look how much better Ross Chastain was. So I think that one of the things that's going to be really important is their ability to keep up with the cars. With less downforce, it's going to be even more important. It might not feel too much different, like Kyle said, but it's maybe going to fall off faster. So I think that's going to be a big divider.
Now, Clint, one thing that was not a factor was that after practice yesterday, the hood louvers on all 4 of the Hendrick cars were confiscated by NASCAR. They had looked at the louvers on all the cars, decided to take those 4 back to the R&D center to have a look at them. They're a look at louvers here. Obviously, that did not slow down Kyle Larson today.
Well, that's just it. They borrowed some off of another Chevrolet team, put them on there, and still hung 3/10 on the competition in that first lap. I think it'll be interesting what comes of that Tuesday. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's something. We'll find out. But nonetheless, this 5 car is extremely fast, folks. Who can catch him, run him down, and maybe pass him? But to win this race, I believe they're going to have to go through that 5.
He's certainly going to be the favorite to start.
Oh, I do, but I'm really impressed with the Toyotas. That was an incredible qualifying by Denny. He was 19th in practice yesterday. He didn't think his short speed was good, but he thought his long speed was. So I'm interested to see how that plays out tomorrow.
They're going to be slipping and sliding around. It's going to be fun. There's a look at the Fox schedule for tomorrow. We'll see you right here from Phoenix.
Hey there, welcome to our Race Day studios. We've got a little bonus Cup qualifying coverage. I'm Shannon Spake. He's America's crew chief Larry McReynolds. Of course, the Daytona 500 champ Jamie McMurray. We'll take you right up to Xfinity Series Race Day, which will start at 3:30 here on FS1. The front row, I should say, for tomorrow's Cup race out at Phoenix. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Hendrick Motorsports picking up right where they left off last week. Kyle Larson starting on the pole. Denny Hamlin will start alongside of him in second, Jamie.
Was that your best Matthew McConaughey you had right there?
Or like Gomer Pyle, right? Didn't you used to say surprise, 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 too?
Yeah, I'm not surprised that Larson was the best car in practice yesterday. Obviously ran well at Vegas last week. And this is a good track for him. And the one thing for me as I watched qualifying that I remembered from Kyle Larson being a teammate is we used to get 2 laps in qualifying. He could always get it done in the first lap. So I think this single lap qualifying benefits him more than most.
Yeah, and you see Denny Hamlin in that Toyota qualifying on the outside of the front row. The Toyotas in the 2 Phoenix races last year were absolutely non-existent. Only had 1 top 5 in both races, led 0 laps. And of course, Denny's trying to end a 25 race winless streak.
Yeah, surprise, surprise, surprise is Gomer Pyle's
medal.
All right, is Matthew McConaughey. There you go. It's okay. You know, it's 3 in a row. Let's go out to Regan Smith, who's with our Daytona 500 winner, Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Well, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. qualifies 23rd for tomorrow. More importantly, though, in practice yesterday, we watched your race car. You ran a ton of laps, more laps than anybody at one point in the practice, made a little mock-up run. How fast is that race car for tomorrow? And maybe our Daytona 500 champion could get one at Phoenix here.
I don't think we have a car capable of getting one here at Phoenix, but I feel really competitive, and you know that's a far cry from where we were here in November, and so that's a testament to all of our guys just working really hard and trying to take all the resources we're getting and just trying to make the most of it. So our Thomas Camaro was good yesterday, did a long run. It's going to be wild, you know, getting that many laps on tires. We kind of wanted to see where it shook out. Underdrove qualifying there, which normally isn't my MO. So, you know, all in all, I felt really good about how it drove in qualifying. I just left a lot out on the table, but looking forward to going racing tomorrow.
Good luck, Ricky. Thanks.
Thank you.
How much does transfer from today's qualifying to tomorrow, and how much can you kind of gain?
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to look closer to what we had yesterday in practice. Of course, there's a lot of things that goes with qualifying up front. We talk about this pit road a lot. Pit selection goes with it. But there's such a fine line between a long-run car and a short-run car at Phoenix.
Yeah, and it looked to me like yesterday watching practice that they tried to do a mock run at the end, hoping they would qualify a little bit better. He was pretty optimistic in his interview there, that thought they had a better car on the longer run. And I'm with him. I don't know that I've ever heard Ricky Stenhouse say that he underdrove a car, so watch out tomorrow.
Let's talk about the Fords for a second. We got 3 of those in the top 10 with Brad Keselowski up closest.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, RFK Racing, they just continue to chip away at this. Brad Keselowski qualifying inside the top 5. He's the only active champion that has not won a Cup race at Phoenix. And Michael McDowell, Front Row Motorsports, at 34, up inside the top 10. The only team Penske Ford that's up in there is Ryan Blaney, who was very good both Phoenix races last year.
Yeah, I mean, Blaney, that would be one that I would pick for the win tomorrow based on how he ran last year and how well Fords ran here last year. But I'm with you. I think Michael McDowell gets the attaboy of the day.
Yeah.
Loses his crew chief, but they're able to have another great run today. Hopefully that can transfer into a good finish tomorrow.
Yeah, you also got to point out William Byron, who's starting 3rd. Of course,
he had a pretty good weekend last weekend.
A little momentum. And we've got Daniel Suarez, who's just outside that top 10. He's obviously had a great start to the season. Hey, Xfinity Series race day is coming up next. That was just a little extra bonus qualifying coverage. Stay with us.